Welcome back, Shop Rats. Today we're back on the Stitch Challenger, and we got just a whole bunch of miscellaneous things we're going to do, but we're going to try to make some forward motion on the progress. We got the driver's door back here on the stand. That should be a little clue of something we're going to look at. Let's watch the show intro. I'll see you in about 30 seconds. I'm Mike, and this is My Car's Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
Been an awful lot going on lately. We started another channel. If you haven't seen that, go over and check that out. I'll try to put a link up there somewhere for it. It's called Our Place, and it's a channel that we do stuff where it may not be car related, but it might be shop related, it might be related to the property. Our very first episode was posted over there about making step one of an outdoor area, an outdoor room. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go check that out. But anyway, all that to say, busy, and the other day I had opportunity to meet channel viewer Dave down in Flint, Michigan, and we spent a couple hours together, and he was showing me his CUDA project and so forth. He donated a bunch of parts to the channel, which I really appreciate, most of which were for the 47 Ford, but he does have a 73 CUDA, and he gave me a few things that he had that were spares from that project. So let me show you the first thing that he got. I bet it's related to this door. So he had purchased almost everything for his car, sheet metal wise, and quarter panels, floor pans, roof, door skins, etc. He had put a door skin on the driver's door, and it didn't come out in a way that he was pleased with, so we went ahead and bought another one and cut that other one off. And as we were touring around, he pointed that out to me and said, "Hey, is that something you can use?" I said, "It makes great scrap metal for patches." He says, "Well, I don't do patches, so go ahead and take it." Well, I got thinking, because that's what I do. I wondered, is it possible to use this as a patch panel for a 70 Challenger door? Now, if you know anything about a CUDA, the body line is in a different place. That's okay. Than it is on a Challenger. So, but I got looking, and I got doing some measuring, I got doing some playing, and I realized that I think I can make this work even though the flanges are all cut off. So let me show you what I'm thinking. If we lay this up on here, we can see that this body line, well, the mirror's in the way. I need to get that out of the way. Let's do that first. And of course we see how good shape it is. That's why I was so careful to not break it. But actually the reason is because the cables are all good, and that can possibly be used on another mirror. So anyway, as I was saying, let's get this screws out of here. The handle's still in, which is no handle, it's broken. You get new handles. But anywho, dimensionally, it's weird, okay? So this body line is actually higher than the top of the door. So for this to fit properly, this would need to be down in this ballpark. And so that part of the door up here is pretty much the same. So we could take this and use it up here, except that on a CUDA, it's bowed this way, and on a Challenger, it's bowed this way. So that could be done. Don't think it's worth doing, but it's intriguing. But really, this part of the door up here on the original door is okay. It's everything from here down. And I got looking, and the body line on a CUDA, if we go by that line, lines up about there, which is about an inch, give or take, higher. This is wider than on a Challenger. Okay, then back here the line tapers down. Not hard to do that with that door handle in there, but we get another inch here. So this line tapers down about a half an inch, and on the Challenger it tapers down about an inch. But this line here can be reused, which leaves me an overlap down here that I can flange this over and make a patch panel that goes from somewhere up in here, just maybe cut it at this body line, I'm not sure yet, and make a patch panel to go from just below the body line all the way down. Now there's no flanging on the front because that's cut off, but that's no big deal. We can weld that back on, that's no problem. So it's an intriguing idea. I like the idea of the skill and the techniques involved, and costs me nothing except some time because Dave donated the panel. So I'm not going to do that today, but I wanted to share it with you and get your feedback. I know I talked to John over at Life at Speed, and he thought, hey, it might be doable. You know, we've got other options for doors, but I'm always looking for the challenge, something to stretch me, something to push me, something to try something new, and this challenges me a little bit. I like that thought. There's a couple of little dents up in here, but if we were to seam this, you know, up in this ballpark, I'll have to cut this down the middle, and probably do that with the plasma cutter and just get that cut. And yeah, I'm curious about that. So when it comes to stuff like this, it's not my first rodeo. I know back in the day, I hung a lot of panels over the years, but probably one of the more challenging one was, I don't think I have any pictures of this project, I would insert them. I did a 71 Super B big block 4-speed car when I worked in a body shop, and at the time I did that, there were no quarter panels available. The only quarter panels available were for the Coke bottle Charger, which was 71 to 73 or 4, whatever years those were. And the body lines are completely different. But the panel shape is basically the same. So what I ended up doing on that one was hammering out the factory body line, making a couple of cuts, and actually recreasing it and bending the body line in its proper place to match the body lines on the car, and then hanging it on the car. That turned out gorgeous, and that's the kind of stuff I like doing. So to think about adapting the lower half of a 73, basically all Cuda, door skin onto the lower half of a Challenger door, well, that just is kind of right up my alley. So we'll see how that goes. I got to spend some time thinking more about it, but definitely can flange the bottom. That's the main thing. We can weld a flange on the top or on the front and on the back. That's no big deal. The inner structure on this door is completely wasted. So will I make that? Will I buy it? I don't know. We'll see. The other door is in pretty good shape, so I have good references. But the body line from here to here is 3.5 inches. The body line from here to here is 2.5 inches. And we have more than, I think this was like 4.5 and 3.5 or something. So we have an extra inch of material up there on this door skin to make this work. So, all right, let's get into the actual hands-on stuff that I intended to do today. So one of the things that I've been working towards lately is just little bites, and I'm definitely in a little bite mood. I'm pretty tired and need a break, but I want to get something done. So we need to get this seatbelt mount off of here. I don't know if I want to tackle that today, maybe not. But what I do want to do is get this area here on back, and then maybe this area cleaned up and in primer like we did that area. 2 reasons. One, I'm pondering the trunk floor where I'm going to trim things, etc., etc., etc. And 2, that'll give me a much better idea of the condition of all of this metal to be sure that we don't have any Swiss cheese that I'm not seeing. So I'm going to start up in here with my wire wheel and just work my way back and get hot, sweaty, dirty, crabby, cranky, and all that kind of stuff. So I need to get the brake line out of here now before I can go the rest of the way. But I just wanted to comment how, really I don't have a ton of time into this. Finding I got a little Swiss cheese here, but that'll be easily patched. but the thing is in pretty good shape like I suspected, so that's going to make it easy to put that trunk floor in. But I need to get this out of the way. I'm not going to bother taking the bracket off the body, but I do need to get this old chunk of brake line out of the way to get in there so I can clean that up, because I'm concerned I'll get caught on that and then end up ripping that wire wheel out of my hand and causing a bloody mess, which makes for great video footage, but really is kind of a pain in the butt in real life. So we just got this little chunk here to do, and then that bite is pretty well done. I will need to take this out. Like I said, there's some rust behind that I need to take care of. But I've got another one of these, but I don't know if I'll use this one or the other one. It doesn't much matter. But let's get this last little bit cleaned up, and that'll be another nice bite
Out of crime.
Right, just blew everything down. So we'll catch that above the frame rail when I do the wheel tub up there. But little by little. So another bite here, and of course this is all in preparation for, I've got a lot of finish welding and little patches to do down here yet from what I did before. Got some Swiss cheese in a couple spots there that we're going to fix. Easy peasy there, not worried about that. Nothing structural there, so I got a quick way we're going to do that. But we're ready to go ahead and put our rust conditioner on this and let that dry, and then we'll maybe we'll see about getting this out of here as well. I don't know, we'll probably, but we'll see. I got to get inside the car to do that. So, but yeah, we're making progress. She's flooded down with rust conditioner now, so we'll let that dry. And I think while that's drying, we'll go ahead and spin the car down and see where the spot welds are to get that piece out of there. So, yeah, looking good. Oh yeah, I want to hit that with primer too, because that's never actually been anything but red primer. So once this dries, we're going to go ahead and shoot this with some temporary primer anyway. But it'll look good. Yeah, I'm really tickled with the way this is turning out. Here's a very good example of metal on metal with basically no rust treatment or anything on it at all, and how little it rusts. So, you know, I know a lot of guys worry about, ooh, I got a butt weld, I don't want to overlap because I don't want anything that can rust. Factory, right there. And huge piece of metal with metal over it, and not much elements got in there, and it didn't rust. And I'm sure there's some kind of a zinc coating on there or whatever, but the point is, you can see it isn't even painted. And just a little teeny bit of surface rust since 1970. So again, guys, don't be paranoid about overlapping, because I'm telling you, it doesn't rust unless it gets penetrated with moisture. Metal to metal, it's not like metal to aluminum, where if you take, you know, a piece of sheet metal or any kind of steel and you put it against aluminum, and then aluminum it forms that electrolysis or whatever. Metal against metal does not rust, and we always coat and treat stuff and before we do our, you know, metal to metal. So, and we seal the edges, and so point is, don't worry about it, it's fine. So now we can clean this up, and we'll get some stuff on there, and then we'll be able to put our patch in here that we need to do. And not doing all that today, but I'm getting it ready for the next step of patching our little Swiss cheese and patching in all of our little holes and our little spots that we let go last time. And you know, this is the stuff that, the little details that start making a huge difference in the project. So let's throw the wire brush on that real quick and get that in some rust conditioner. And just like that, she's cleaned up, and I can get the, I've got another one of those. That's why I didn't bother trying to save that one. I've got one that's in perfectly good shape attached to a piece outside, so we'll get that one and get it cleaned up. and we'll get this cross member cleaned up. And once we determine what we're putting in here for sound deadening, we'll probably go ahead and get that sound deadening, rust proofing, whatever. I'm thinking lizard skin, but that's a little bit pricey. So drop in the comments down there. What do you guys use to put on the bottom of these things that's a good textured bottom finish type thing that we can put on there? Lizard skin, rhino liner. I'm reluctant to use bed liner. There are, I think, better products, but I want something that's relatively inexpensive but durable. Lizard skin has been the product for a long time. I tend towards that, but it is pricey. That's the impressive thing right there, is to see how much of that car is starting to shape up. You know, yeah, there's little bits of work to do here and there, but it's looking good. And the reality is, this car's not going to see much weather. It's not like it's going to be, you know, daily driven in the salt and so forth. This is a fair weather car, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And of course, we'll do some touring and so forth with it, but it's not going to see daily, you know, crap and salt and grime and that kind of stuff. So all in the context of what we're building here, which is an enjoyable driver. Big progress. Happy with that. Well, I'm pleased with the progress on stitches. Again, another bite, another big bite actually, so that's good. Excited about the door part of this thing, so got my brain working on that. One of these days when it's not quite as warm, I want to get the welder out and go ahead and start, you know, taking the bite out of getting a lot of that finish welding in those little holes done, things like that. So good to go. Like I said, if you would just drop some comments down there what you guys shoot on the bottom of these things, a product that's similar to lizard skin. Maybe you know something that's just as good that's a little bit less expensive, but obviously we're not going to shoot anything on it until we have everything done, so that it's just one shot and finished and we're done with the underside of the car. But obviously we're a ways to go for that. All right, that's going to do it. We're over on the Face thing, over on Instagram, and She Loves Us Too, /MyCarShop. We're here on the You thing, so go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell so you receive those notifications. Drop comments down there. Join us over in our community tab. There's lots of discussion going on over there as well. Anywhere on social media you want to find us, we are /MyCarsShop. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.
Rock.